Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim wa salatu wa salam ala Rasulillah al-Kareem. Alhamdulillah, and welcome back to another episode of Life's Adornments, where we're discussing the issue of child rearing, its beauties, its virtues, as well as its trials and its tribulations, with the intention of returning our affairs back to the Quran and the Sunnah of our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. As we know, the best of us are those who ascribe and those who follow the footsteps of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in all of our affairs. So to help us with this endeavor, which we're talking about today, the reasons for which children go astray, we have Sheikh Assim and Hakeem, who is a teacher at Zad Academy and KIU and has been an imam and a teacher for over 30 years. Bismillah, mashallah. We would like to welcome our guest, Sheikh Assim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you as always for joining us, Sheikh Assim.
Barakallahu feekum, jazakumullahu khairan.
So we took our last episode discussing causes for which children go astray. We talked into depth about the environment, but there's also another portion of the environment which is crucial. As they say, the eyes are the windows to one's soul, to one's behaviors. So everything you see has an effect on you, profound impact on the way you think, on the way you see the world. So how does the media play a role in terms of the things that children watch on TV, now YouTube, video games they play? How does that affect their psychology and then affect their behavior?
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah. والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وآله وصحبه ومن اهتدى بهديه واستنى بسنته إلى يوم الدين أما بعد. The media has a great impact in the life of people in general and Muslims in particular. At the time of the Prophet ﷺ, people say we did not have any media. And this is not entirely true. Because the media at the time of the Prophet ﷺ and the Arabs was based on poetry, prose, literature. And to the extent that the Prophet ﷺ made Hassan ibn Thabit his poet, and the Prophet had three poets, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He had Hassan ibn Thabit, Ka'b ibn Malik, and Abdullah ibn Rawaha. May Allah be pleased with them all. Hassan ibn Thabit, he used to instruct him to say his poems in the masjid because it was harder and more painful upon the idol worshippers than throwing them with arrows. This meant that the media had a great role at the time of the Prophet ﷺ. Likewise, nowadays, we can see in the banana republics, when they have a revolution or when they have a coup or overthrow a government, what is the first thing they do? They take hold of the Ministry of Information, TV and radio, because this channels whatever they want to say to the people. The worst thing of media, and not our media is okay, man, there's no a problem in that. It's halal, it's Islamic, it's good. The worst thing in media is that there's no reciprocation. It's a one-side channel. So you just sit there and listen and watch, and you become like a sponge. You absorb whatever they give to you, whether it's sewer water or pure clean water, unfortunately. Now the children spend a lot of their time in their homes when they're growing up. And if the children were not blessed with righteous, knowledgeable, and practicing parents, the tendency, and this is generally what happens, is that the mother doesn't want to speak, doesn't want to put some effort, doesn't want to prioritize her children. She has chores to do, cooking, cleaning, checking her WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram. So she has a lot on her plate. Yet the children are at the bottom of the priority list. So when a child comes, instead of listening and assisting, she says, go and watch the TV. Go and play with your video games. And this is devastating.
Yes.
Now, when you go to cartoons, which usually the children grow up watching. I've watched a lot of cartoons to analyze. And I tell you, it is devastating. It is harmful. It destroys the aqidah, the personality, and even touches on the chastity of the children themselves. Even the new Disney productions, you would have something related to homosexuality, LGBT, empowerment of women. All of this goes against Islam. Someone told me, I didn't watch it, alhamdulillah, yet. Frozen 1, Frozen 2, this is one of the blockbusters. Frozen 2, I was told that there is homosexuality in it. Now this is a Disney production. This is cartoons for children. And when children grow up watching these things, what would be the result? Definitely not Quran and Sunnah. Not only that, video games. We see what's happening in the States. Shootings in colleges, in high schools, in Walmart, in shopping centers. And it's discriminate shooting. The one that took place a couple of years ago in Las Vegas, where they killed like 70, 80, something that's huge. What is this? How is this triggered? What causes this? Alhamdulillah, there's nothing Islamic about it. So they can't say it's a Muslim terrorist or a terrorist organization or this or that. No, this is from within. Yes, they can say they were right-wing neo-Nazis. They can, whatever they want to say. But what's happening in schools is not called for. So who's doing this? If you trace it back to their homes, you'll see that violence is the answer to all their problems. You see that they are praising the amendment that protects gun possessing your firearms. And you will find that the contemporary video games promote violence. This, what they call PUBG, P-U-B-G, and Fortnite. And these can be used innocently as innocent games, but it can promote violence. And when children play and grow up on blowing up things, killing people, seeing blood. I remember about 23, maybe more, 25 years ago, 30 years ago, someone introduced me to a game called Doom, where you go and shoot demons and monsters. One of my brother played it, and in 10 minutes his nose started bleeding.
SubhanAllah.
Whenever I played it, I used to go and throw up because of the tension, not because my stomach was upset. No, I can't tolerate such scenery, but the tension, killing and going. And subhanAllah, I stopped playing any type of video games since then because it's a waste of time, it's a waste of energy, and there's no benefit. Now, children, I know some of my relatives even spend literally 12 hours behind the screen. 12 hours a day, sitting, having his headset, speaking to people, do this, kill this, no, he's behind the door. Okay, this might be fun, but we need psychiatrists, we need doctors and professionals to tell us the impact, negative or positive, of such games. Without any doubt, what you see on the TV screens impact your life. The children grow up watching cartoons. What about when they are like 12, 13 years of age? They want something higher. So they watch Hannah Montana. And we know what Hannah Montana is and who she is, Miley Cyrus and the rest of the gang. They start to learn obscenity, nudity, bad words, and they want to look like them, act like them. Then they go to their mid-teens or late teens, they want to watch movies. And movies are rated PG, parental guidance suggested, or rated R. So they want more violence, they want more nudity, more sex. What do you think would come out of such a generation? Do you think they will go to school, to the masjid 5 times a day? Do you think they'll memorize the Quran? Do you think that they will be good practicing Muslims? Or they want to be like their role models, smoking pot, going to the prom, dancing, singing, putting their headphones and listening to rap music, looking like them, acting like them? This is one of the greatest negative effect of the media, which we ourselves are guilty as charged of presenting it to our children. Not only that, I know households where they put a TV screen and a satellite receiver in the room and chamber of the child. And we have not talked about the internet yet. Yeah. This is just normal Muslim family. This is normal. TV, what's wrong with the TV? What's wrong with playing video games? And the father and the mother don't have an iota of what's going on. They just want to get their children off their chest. They don't want to listen to them. They don't want to hear anything about them. As long as they eat, drink, and wear new clothes, they're okay.
Yeah, subhanAllah, this is an extensive topic. As you said, we haven't even talked about the internet yet, which is, as far as the TV, at least parents have a somewhat roundabout idea how to cancel this show, how to block this. But the internet, you can't keep up with a 10-year-old on the iPad or on the iPhone. He'll run circles around you before you can even figure out what's happening. So we're going to pause here for a short break, inshallah ta'ala. When we come back, we're going to talk about the effects of the broader environment as far as the community and the nation state at large as well, inshallah ta'ala. Viewers, stay tuned. We'll be right back with another segment of Life's Adornments. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to our second segment of Life's Adornments, where we're discussing the very, very crucial topic of the causes that lead children to going astray. Thus far, we've discussed environment, we've discussed poverty, and now we're still talking about the environment, but more closely the in-home environment. As we know, identity is a social construct, and in early developmental years, you find children, the way they find out about who they are, their ideas, their thoughts, how they see the world, how they see their creator, how they see themselves and their families, is by way of consuming the media. The eyes and the ears are windows to the soul. So everything you see, everything you hear, it enters into your soul, it enters into your subconscious. So the Sheikh mentioned the effects of TV. We haven't even gotten into the effects of the internet as well, but we would like to talk a bit more about the community in the world at large, even in the school environment. As Malcolm X once said, only a fool would allow his enemy to educate his children. So how do we control these environments? Perhaps a person may be able to do well with inside of the constructs of their home, but when you let your children go outside into the neighborhood, into the school that is beyond your reach, how do you recommend this? Many children, parents in the West at least, homeschool their children and things of this nature, or send them to a local school that is within a masjid or something like this, but you have no control over what happens outside of that.
Well, this comes within the remedies and the upbringing. If we were to focus on the reasons that take children astray, this might not fit in.
Yeah.
So I believe that we have to focus on the reasons that would make our children go astray so that we can block them. Now, blocking is not the answer. If we talk about the video games, the TV, blocking is not the answer simply because the children can find a substitute. They can find another alternative. They can program the things they have much better than we do. I remember that whenever I needed something to do with my PDA or my computer, I would go to my 4-year or 5-year-old child and ask her to do it for me. And they just do this with their finger in a magical way, and boom, you've got there. So blocking is not entirely the right thing to do. The internet is a menace. There are a lot of good things you can learn from, we can learn from, but it is something that is dangerous for our children. And the PDA, the iPad, the iPhone, the mobiles, they call them the smartphones, and I call them the retard phones, because you just sit there and work on it, and you just intake. There's no feedback coming from you. Instagram. A lot of the children went astray because of Instagram. They watch celebrities, they watch their false tales and how they live, and they want to mimic that. And you can see this in the way they look, in their haircut, in the way they talk. And the Prophet ﷺ warned us from this when he said, whoever imitates a people, he's from them, he's among them. So, as you've correctly stated earlier, the Muslim identity is a very important thing. But do not get me wrong. A Muslim identity does not mean that you don't wear a suit. No, this is not related to identity, because Muslims, a lot of Muslims wear suits. But when you start acting like a non-Muslim, when you start speaking in a lingo that is not yours, you're an Arab, why are you speaking English all the time? When you start listening to rap music, and I listen sometime to some of these rap songs, and I could not understand a single word. And he is unable to understand a single word. Why are you doing it? Well, it's cool. I like this, and the beat is nice. And so it's something that is changing and shifting from within. This is what we fear most. And that is why the Prophet ﷺ placed a great deal on the identity. The Prophet said ﷺ about having these weird haircuts. When he saw some child with part of his head shaved and the other part is not. So the Prophet instructed his parents, either shave it all or leave it all. So if someone wants to have the, what do you call it, tomahawk, like Mr. T. So what are you doing? You fool? He's doing this. But why? I like it. Wait, this is un-Islamic. You should not do that. Abdullah ibn Amr ibn al-As comes to the Prophet ﷺ with a garment dyed with saffron. And this was only done by the kuffar. The Muslims never did this, but this is part of the pre-Islamic era. So he came, the Prophet saw it, he got angry. The Prophet did not let it slip. He said, did your mother order you to do this? You're talking to a grown-up man. When you tell him that, did your mother ask you to do this, means that you're a kid, you don't think. What are you doing? So Abdullah immediately acknowledged, he understood. He did not reply. He did not even apologize. He said, O Prophet of Allah, shall I wash them off? It's okay, I'm going to wash my clothes from saffron. Is it okay? The Prophet said, no, burn them. So he wanted to send a strong and clear message. Your identity is more important than your garments. Burn them to the ground and not wash them, so that you learn from now on that identity comes first as a Muslim. If you look at this, you learn that the environment is important. Yes. And what our children are wasting their time on is extremely dangerous. So should I cut the internet totally from the house? Should I confiscate their iPads and their tablets? Should I ask them to do this or that? No. This is not realistic, because unfortunately, even if you want to do this, the schools will not allow you. Their teacher would tell them, search the internet and print this research and bring this paper and do this, and they need to do it. So what's the solution? I think and believe that the best solution is to instill in them, to put in them the fear of Allah, the love of Allah, and the knowledge of the unseen, so that this would be their guiding beacon. But not all of us can succeed in doing this, and not all the children would embrace this. So the second step would be to eliminate all of these so-called smart devices and limit their access to the internet to a computer, not a laptop, to a desktop, a PC that has a huge monitor, and the monitor's back is to the wall. So anyone entering the living room from all sides can see the monitor and what's displayed on it. The child cannot cover it up. And he's not giving his back to the wall and his face to you so that you can't see the monitor. No, the monitor is crystal clear to anyone that walks into the living room. And give them access per day. You have 2 hours a day. They can surf the net, they can do whatever they want. You can see it. If they enter YouTube, you know what they've entered, you block it. Or you tell them you'll be grounded for a whole week from using the PC, because this is bad. And they can do whatever. There are encyclopedias, there are news outlets, there are so many good things and halal things. But also there is always this shaitan lurking in the dark, waiting for the right moment to strike. And Allah knows best.
Yeah, excellent. So this has a crucial role. Much of what you said has to do with active parenting. In order to be on top of these things, you have to be an active parent. But in many cases, you find parents aren't active, either by default of working parents, both parents at work in many cases, or a mother is home and she's trying her best to look after kids and the father is completely absent. So how do you return back to parenting where both parents are active, and we can discuss the responsibilities in this way?
Well, they have to learn their obligations. They have to learn their roles. And they also have to understand that any failure in assuming your responsibilities would have devastating results on your child. A lot of the children, and this may help us move on from this point, a lot of the children's responsibilities are handed to the schools. So they depend, the parents, entirely on the school. And whenever someone asks them, why is your child like this? They say, well, I don't know, the school did this to him. The school failed in doing this. And it is a blaming game. You go to the school and the principal and the head teachers say the parents did not teach their son or daughter well. You go to the parents and they say the school is corrupt, bad, and it's not educating the children. So everyone blames the other one, failing to find or to realize that it's a mutual responsibility. It takes two to tango. The family by itself cannot upbring a child in a way, then throw the child in a mixed environment, in a corrupt environment, in an un-Islamic school, and expect him to become an imam.
Yes.
And likewise, you cannot put your child in an Islamic school while the house itself is corrupt, where free mixing is there, music is blasting 24/7, movies, Bollywood, Hollywood. Nowadays we have Nollywood. You know that?
No, it's Nollywood.
Nollywood's from Nigeria.
Okay, oh
so
yeah, Nollywood.
Every country now is, I hope they don't have Sawilud or whatever. So this is problematic. It's a mutual responsibility that must be shared by both the family and the school. What happens in the school is crucial because they spend more time sometimes with your child than what you spend. So if it's not a good school, if it's not an Islamic school, if the teachers are not well educated, because they can be knowledgeable in chemistry, but not knowledgeable in how to treat and deal with children, then you have a big problem. So it's a whole process that we have to look into.
Yes, barakallahu feek, Sheikh. This is where we're going to stop our segment today. We've covered a lot, alhamdulillah. We hope that the viewers benefited. I know I personally benefited from your immense wisdom. Jazakallah khair. Viewers, thank you so much for tuning in with us today. We hope that you like our program, you enjoyed it, you benefited very much, and we look forward to seeing you for another episode of Life's Adornments. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.